Hello, I'm Trudy, One Grounded Angel. This is the weekly angel card reading for the week beginning Tuesday, the 18th of April through to the 23rd of April. You'd think I would have looked that up in advance. I forgot. I was so busy focusing on starting from the Tuesday, the 18th, that I forgot where I was actually going to end. So anyway, that wasn't a great start. Doesn't matter though, does it? Dates don't matter. Let's start with Tuesday, the 18th of April, and see what's coming up for us today. You'll notice I've decided to go inside today. Seems best. Last week's outdoor recording was fraught with sound and wind issues. Anyway, that's nature. So for Tuesday, we have Queen of Michael. Now, fans of Louise Hay are going to love this because she's actually pictured on this card. But it's about wisdom that comes from, I'm going to say failure, even though failure is perhaps not the best word. So when we fail, we learn what we need to know. We tend to think that that means it was a disaster, but it was actually a win because we have learned something. So reflecting on that, letting go of any ideas that you've got about failures of things that have happened in the past, and being very clear on what you learned from that, because that is exactly what's going to guide you as you go forward. So it also serves as like an affirmation that what you've been thinking about doing is correct. I mean, it's kind of like that thing, if you ask for a sign, here it is. Here it is. Yes, you're right with what you're thinking in terms of your plans and what you want to work on. And remember that everything happens when it needs to happen. So the reason it didn't happen before might be because it was the wrong time, but you can use what you learnt from that to have a better go at it this time, and that this time the timing is right. So that's Tuesday. Now looking at Wednesday the 19th. Cool. Merlina, it's about people who are struggling with decisions. We had this a couple of weeks ago, this kind of confusion about what to do, and that's, you know, kind of the bulk of what prompts people to seek an angel card reading, and sometimes the answer still isn't clear, and that's because the angels want you to make the decision yourself based on what your intuition is telling you. Often when people seek out wisdom, they already know what they need to know. They just don't want to face it, or they're just not quite sure that it's right because they're confused for reasons that may include other people who are influencing them, they're scared, anything like that. So, but however, in this case, it's really about being indecisive because you don't have all the facts. So your intuition is your starting point. It'll tell you what you need to do, but you still need to go and get the facts that will confirm that that's right. So, and Mercury retrograde is very much about being cautious with what you do. So take your time, don't rush into anything, really think it over, and do your homework, look into it, do lots of research. So I know I've said before that Mercury retrograde is not a time for striving forward. You still can go ahead with different things, embarking on new projects, starting new jobs, whatever it is. But you just have to really be cautious. Don't rush into anything. Go over anything you're signing with a fine-tooth comb. Just be really, really sure about everything. Make sure that you dot all the I's and cross all the T's. So, and that's really kind of backing that up. Thursday, interesting. I've got two cards here. I'm going to read this one first. Steady progress. So just because you might think that you're not getting anywhere doesn't mean you're not getting anywhere. Sometimes we have to take a step back and think to gather enough information before we move forward. But just because you're not where you thought you would be by now doesn't mean you've failed. So you are moving forward, even though even though you might feel like you're stationary, and that's because what's going on in your energy field and in your brain is something that you may not necessarily be aware of. So yeah, even the little things that are happening are important. So just reassure yourself you are making progress and that it's going to happen for you. So and you know, perhaps the fact that it's not happening right now at the speed that you would like is a good thing given what's going on. Now, I've also got this field about energy work. Some of you, this is only going to relate to some of you. Some of you need to get some energy work done, and you already know about that. So it's confirming what you already know again. Maybe someone's already told you about it, or you've already been looking into it. Go do it. However, for most of you, that's not going to apply. Jeez, Friday now. Friday the 21st. Here we go. Gosh, the cards are just jumping out right now. Now that I've said it, it's not going to work out. Animals, so power animal. Now, animals, there's a couple of different things here. For some of you, it's about your connection with the pet that you have now. And I wonder if some of you are getting messages from that animal that are helpful to you. I don't really know how to elaborate on that too much because it's quite specific, but there's something within your connection or within your the way you guys, perhaps your pet's trying to offer you comfort, and you know that's a sign of the universe supporting you, and because the universe works through other people and animals as well. So pay attention if there's anything going on that you think could potentially be a sign. That's only a few of you, but ultimately it's to remind you all, okay, sorry, I'm getting a lot going on here. Some of you, it's about a message of a pet that you've had that's passed on, letting you know that they're okay and that they're loved and that you will definitely see them again. So if that animal has been on your mind now or recently, that's the message there. For others of you, it's a message that you need to be spending more time outdoors, and that's going to really help you with your energy. Ideally, if you can spend time with an animal, that would be really helpful and calming for you right now. If you can't, just being outside in nature, in a park, going for a walk would be really, really helpful. Saturday, I always lose track of where I'm at. Oh, I had several jump out there. Okay. Balance, work, rest and play. We had this last Wednesday. Rest and play are not something you do only on holidays or only in weekends, okay? You need to be making this more of a priority. The angels are repeating themselves because some of you are not getting the message. Rest and play are not indulgences, they are mandatory, because our lives are not, we're not here to work all the time. We're not here to simply tick things off our checklist. That's not what you're going to reflect on when your time on this earthly plane is up. So what can you do to be bringing some more fun back? I'm not just talking about, you know, the big stuff like booking into I'm going to start this again. I'm not talking about the big stuff, the big fun stuff like, you know, going to the circus or whatever. I'm talking about the small fun things like the pampering stuff like getting a pedicure, or the fun stuff like gathering all your friends together and just having a movie night, or something where you kind of switch off from the outside world and don't just sit around and talk about your problems. So if you do want to meet up with friends, make sure you're not just bitching about your work stuff, because that's just going to put you back in the work mode and then you'll be angry again. Could you go to a comedy night? Could you, I'm not very good at ideas right now, am I? You know, my favourite thing to do for play that's really low key and a bit lame and embarrassing, but go to a children's playground. And just, I love the swings. I love, because there's a sense of freedom that comes from that really puts you back in that zone you were in as a child, where you didn't have responsibilities and you were living in the moment and you weren't worried about where your meals were going to come from or what was going to happen next. So that's something I recommend if you don't think that's too naff. Dancing in your living room. I love doing that, and I don't care about the neighbours watching. But obviously, as previously noted, I don't really care about being embarrassing anyway. Well, I do, but it doesn't generally stop me. So, yeah, and definitely more rest. I mean, we're just not getting enough sleep, any of us. I'm trying to get to bed an hour earlier now. It's my new thing. It's not going so well. I'm going to recommit to that for this week. I consider myself told. Sunday. angel therapy. This is about asking the angels to help you, and there's very much a healing theme here too. So in terms of your health complaints, your emotional complaints, ask the angels for help and know that that healing is on the way to you. You don't get better by, you don't let go of something you're worried about or fix that thing that you're worried about by continuing to worry about it. You fix it by asking the angels for help and then releasing it, and then the universe takes care of it in a way that you would perhaps never have expected, but never have been able to accomplish on your own. So it's signifying relief is on the way, and it's also signifying that you are not alone, and you've got help at your hand, so please use it. So what are our themes for this week? We've got really kind of a mixed bag. So we had reflecting on where you want to go next and using your failures or your regrets as kind of a springboard rather than a source of, a source of pain. Doing more research. I'm just going to go with you're making steady progress. It's very much a slow kind of plodding thing happening here, and I think that's what we need. We've got our bond with animals. I don't think I've really had that one in a daily reading before. Amazing, after almost 3 years of doing daily oracle cards, there are still occasionally cards that I've never had in a daily reading before. And this one here about angel therapy, which nicely underpins the whole message. That's it for the week. I'm going to put this on Instagram, or my cards on Instagram every day. That will give you new insight and clarity. My Instagram is @OneGroundedAngel. My Facebook page is One Grounded Angel. If you want to reach me, my contact details are on my website, www.onegroundedangel.com. There's a contact form on there, or go into the bookings. You can book your own personal angel card reading there. Don't forget to tell me where in the world you live when you do that, so I can give you a price in your currency. And you can ask me, direct message me if you've got any questions, but bear in mind I can't really give you deep and personal information in that capacity because I'm just too busy with my clients. So thank you very much for your love and support and attention. Have a terrific week, and I'll read for you again next week. Take care.